Good contact, Houston, contact network.
Good contact. Soyuz Apollo.
Good communications with Soyuz to Madrid. Very clean, very good.
Turn off power of the docking system.
Good contact, Houston, contact. Are you copying noise on your downwind now from the power?
Soyuz, this is Apollo. Soyuz Apollo. Soyuz, this is Apollo.
Roger.
Soyuz Apollo. Soyuz, this is Apollo. How do you read? Very good. Docking system power off. Soyuz, this is Apollo. Docking system power off. Soyuz, this is Apollo. Now the docking system power is off. Over.
The astronaut on the left is Vance Brown. The one on the right is Stafford.
I'll give you a verbal on that, and then we'll see what happens. Your CFM uplink mode is mode 6, PM downlink mode 02, FM downlink navigable, VHF air ground 296.8, Simplex Alpha, Dose 1, air ground configuration charge. ARS time 16:49:42.
Yeah, the ground is to watch that.
LOS 16. Sorry, go ahead. And LOS is 16:505 east.
Beautiful.
Rob, can you ask Honeysuckle if we can give me an evaluation of their VHF, AOS, LOS time?
Houston, you'll be able to terminate the P-25 at 52 plus 05. I will call you back and remind you of that. And also, if you get a chance, the polarizing filter on the camera in slot number 11 needs some rotation. That light is flagging it out. Thanks, man.
Say again?
Great.
Honeysuckle is working out their acquisition on a forced hack message that they do not have IFBs for this upcoming task. Right, understand. Roll back.
They've got a 6-pointer with Britain to the lake points based on our IRB. They're 29 points.
Thank you, sir.
Apollo Houston, we're about 30
Roger,
seconds
thank you,
from
Theo.
LOS, and we'll see you at Mila at 50. We'll see you at Bermuda at 5311. Bermuda 5311. Contact you. Madrid. Результаты точной проверки очень хорошие. Значит, в течение 10 минут давление упало из тоннеля 2 на 1 миллиметр. Это очень отлично. Прием.
Roger, we copy Soyuz downlink on 296.8 and CSN downlink on 296.8. Roger. Madrid contact, Houston contact.
Madrid contact.
Roger, would you monitor your VHF downlink receivers now to see if you're copying any interference before you acquire the spacecraft?
Under order. Superman has rising Apollo control. Some difficulty here in establishing communication with Apollo-Soyuz through the ATS-6 satellite. While that's being sorted out, we have the following announcement. The Soviet ambassador to the United States, Anatoly Dobrynin, will meet with newsmen in the JSC main auditorium at 1:15 Central Daylight Time. To repeat, Ambassador Dobrynin will meet with the news people covering ASTP in the main JSC auditorium at 1:15 Central Daylight Time.
Apollo Houston, we heard you once about 30 seconds ago. How'd you read us?
Madrid contact, Houston contact.
Madrid contact.
Yeah. When you monitor the VHF downlink side of the tower, is it copying any noise on it?
That's going to be no interference.
Okay, no interference.
Apollo Houston through Madrid, how'd you read us?
Madrid, RTC.
Roger, we read you now well.
Roger, what's your command status? Roger. Houston, Apollo, how do you read?
Apollo Houston, we read you. Could you tell us what your comm problems are?
Madrid contact, Houston contact.
Madrid contact.
Confirm a good shot coming up, please.
Affirmative.
Yes, and normal power amp high-low switch to off.
FM carrier.
Okay. There you go. Please repeat your return on by rail station.
Roger, that is the on panel 3. S-band normal power amp high-low switch to off center.
Keep talking, Miller.
Sorry, I had that.
understand you, Roger.
Module pilot Houston. We have a good picture of your deke, and an answer to your question is that the ZFF photos should either be on the bulkhead, right of the optics, where they're positioned for the photos, or you'll find them in R5.
Okay, we've got two up there on the bulkhead that we've been running with, but are we supposed to transfer one of those to Soyuz?
Roger, one of those is supposed to go to Soyuz.
Okay, well, there wasn't any label on it, so we weren't sure. Just either one of them, babe.
Roger, either one.
Okay.
Madrid, okay, we're going to go to a dump mode here shortly, and forgive me, containers 2, like a dip set. Ready to go? minute. Okay, we changed our mind. The clear is to point at this knot set.
I just won't sound very superstitious, but still I prefer to have a happy, sound, and soft landing. And afterward, we are prepared to discuss any other future ventures in space and other fields. Over here, please. Well, my impression is that Earth as such is a peaceful planet, and there will be no need to send any troops from the Earth to the Mars. Right about right.
I was at the Cape when you came over to wave farewell to the astronauts, and I know of your activities there and here. Could you tell us if Ambassador Stossel did similar things at Baikonur, if he was present when the cosmonauts left, and other activities?
I couldn't give you minute-by-minute account of activities of Ambassador Stossel, but I could tell you one thing. First, he was in Baikonur area. Second, he was given quite an honor in my country. I should say he was planted a tree in an alley which is rare in the Baikonur area, where our most famous people go there and planting the tree. So it was a good symbol of a cooperation between two countries. Now I just watched him on television. He was very active in a Russian space center, giving some explanation or receiving explanation. It depends on ambassador and who accompanied him. That's all I could say, really.
Wait for the microphone, please.
Yeah.
Russia launch its next rocket? Its next rocket.
What rocket?
Soyuz 20.
I really don't know. But I'm sure you could receive this answer through our press people here. I didn't follow the next, but I'm sure it will be not far away.
Next question here, please.
Will media be allowed to cover the landing of the... will the media be allowed to cover the landing of the Soyuz?
I do not have this information, quite frankly, so I don't want to mislead you.
The landing will be televised. We have time for one more question, please.
The Kennedy Space Facilities has been open to the American public for a long time. Are there any plans to open the Baikonur Cosmodrome to the Russian people? If so, when? If not, why?
I think it's the same question you're asking. You're asking the same question as the previous one, no?
No.
I think the same. Baikonur, yes.
The question was, will the Baikonur Cosmodrome be open to the Soviet public for visits?
Maybe. Oh, you were speaking so slow, I couldn't really hear you. Well, it's quite possible, but not a specific decision was made. But I think it will be, eventually.
Okay, last question.
Mr. Ambassador, a few weeks ago in the last press conference here, astronaut Deke Slayton was asked, because of all of the cooperation with the Soviet cosmonauts and having seen some of the Soviet Union, if he had a different impression now about the Russian people and the Soviet system of government. And he said that he had come to appreciate the Russian people a lot more, but he still thought that the Russian system of government was lousy, to use his word. And I wondered what you felt about that response.
Well, I think it was unfair, your remarks on the cosmonauts or astronauts. They are doing a very good, nice friendship mission. And introduced some remarks which was done or maybe was not done, or in a different kind of atmosphere. I think it's rather unfair. So both teams which are now there preparing to fulfill their most important part of the mission.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. I'm afraid we will have to conclude the press conference now because we are required to keep the ambassador on the schedule. Thank you very much.
ATC will take positions around the OM table, and the President of the U.S. would like to relay a message to the commanders of both vehicles. The sequence will be that all will get into position and allow the commander of the Soyuz to welcome you to the OM, and the President will then speak. The docking module pilot is requested to give his headset to the Soyuz commander so the President may speak to the Soyuz commander.
Okay, well, I think we got that.
Roger. Apollo, Houston, over. Roger, we just like a progress report on how the preparations for the transfer are coming before we go over the hill here.
R1 Madrid. Oh, we're in good shape. We're ahead of schedule, just waiting around to sync the clock at, vehicle sync the clock at 5411.
Real fine.
The R1. Both sticking one by your R1.
Good switch, baby.
Down there. I got it closer. Right down here, the LEC there, and that's around coupling.
Say again, Deke, we did not understand what you said.
Okay, I'm going to stay connected to the DM and do the time sync from the LEC connected to the DM drum.
Understand, you're going to stay connected into the DM and do the time sync from the LEB.
RTC, Mo. Roger, you want to go to space?
OCP, last time we had a hard time locking up with the hands. Do you have any idea what was wrong? Should we expect any more problems?
Let me check on that with Inco. Houston, we don't have any good reason for the ATS not locking up, and all we can suggest is try the normal procedure again.
Okay. This is Apollo Control. Loss of signal through ATS-6 satellite and Aurora Valley. Next station, 27 minutes away, will be the Merritt Island Launch Area Station, and overlapping coverage again with ATS-6 satellite. Just prior to the press conference by the Soviet Ambassador Anatoly Dobrinin, there was a caution and warning alarm aboard the spacecraft for oxygen cryogenic tank low pressure. A warning. The conjecture here in the control room is that it's an onboard instrumentation problem, and the environmental engineer that watches the spacecraft systems is not concerned at this time about it. He is convinced it is an instrumentation problem. We have about 3.5 minutes of air-to-ground that was recorded during the ambassador's press conference, which we will play back at this time.
Vance, we're having playback data right now, so we're not seeing your P-52. Roger, please do. We only are receiving playback data.
Okay. Sorry, 30 35, number 1, 37, number 2, 05, 4 balls 1, 93, plus 50, minus 20, minus 7, port 53, plus 50, plus 35, over.
Understand, stars 35 and 37, 4 balls 1, plus 50, minus 20, minus 7, 53, 50, 35. Thank you.
And we're ready to proceed with the option 1, and we'll report that.
Roger.
You want a copy on the option 3?
Roger, go ahead with the option 3.
Okay, I'm sorry. I did option 3 first. This was the option 1. Relay of the Department of Orientation. State stars 35, 37, total 5 ball. 93 plus 191 plus 135 plus.
Roger, let's put Brake lock, get it going. Telemetry line, we're going to pick up S6 here.
Understand the option 1, star 35, 37, all balls, plus 191, plus 165, plus 37, 53, 54, 15. Apollo Houston, I have a message for you all. Are you ready to copy?
Seconds 40.
During the first transfer, just after the acquisition of Soviet TV, and just after Tom enters the orbital module, Deke will still be in the DM. The Soviet leaders would like to pass a message to the crews of the Apollo-Soyuz mission. I've got more. Immediately after they have finished their message, bring the cameras into the OM and set it up as planned. The AC and the DB will take positions around the OM table, and the President of the U.S. would like to relay a message to the commanders of both vehicles. The sequence will be that all will get into position and allow the commander of the Soyuz to welcome you to the OM. The President will then speak. The docking module pilot is requested to give his headset to the Soyuz commander so the President may speak to the Soyuz commander.
Okay, well, I think we got that.
Roger.
Okay, Rob, Tech, I see they just
This is Apollo Control that completes playback of the accumulated tape recorded during the Soviet ambassador's press conference. We're 22 minutes away from reacquisition at Merritt Island launch area.
About 25 minutes. No less than
The
that.
preparation is underway now for the first transfer and the initial greetings between the Soyuz crew and the Apollo commander, Tom Stafford, and docking module pilot, Deke Slate. And greetings also from President Ford, voiced up to the crew, and Soviet leaders from Moscow. We'll return in 22 minutes at an Apollo-Soyuz ground elapsed time of 54:16. This is Apollo Control.
Roger, network.
Roger, I'd like to report that our tracking system has ranged what you heard at this time, and we're going to try to report on our tracking.
Okay, I'll tell Drake.
This is Apollo Control. 54:37 ground elapsed time. We have acquisition through Merritt Island launch area at this time. of Apollo and Soyuz as they prepare for first transfer.